So Loeb just released brand new data about 3I Atlas today, and now we're officially looking at its 12th documented anomaly. And honestly, this might be the strangest one so far, because the math we've been depending on for a century completely collapses when we try to apply it here. Loeb has 3 different ideas about why this is happening, but before getting into any of that, we need to break down what the latest anomaly actually is. 7 different telescopes measured how fast 3I Atlas spins, and we ended up with an extremely precise value. It completes one rotation every 16.16 hours. We checked this multiple times between July and August, and the results stayed consistent every single time. Loeb calculated that with the current measured velocity of this gas, it would take roughly a full month for it to travel from the surface of 3I Atlas to the most distant visible part of these jets. And this is where everything breaks apart. During that 1-month journey, how many spins does 3I Atlas complete? Since it rotates once every 16.16 hours, that's around 1.5 turns per day. Over 30 days, that adds up to about 45 full rotations. Basic physics says that if a rotating object in space throws out material, that material should spread out while the object keeps turning. The ejected gas should continue moving in a straight path while the rotating body keeps changing its angle, creating multiple trails pointing in different directions. That's exactly how rotating comets behave. But the images of 3I Atlas show jets that look more like rigid beams of light. They're narrow, sharp, and perfectly defined. They aren't smeared, distorting, or spiraled like you would expect after 45 rotations. Each jet holds one direction and maintains it across 1,000,000 kilometers of distance. That should not happen if the object is spinning continuously while the gas is being expelled. And there's something else people seem to be ignoring. Just a few days before those images were taken, we had pictures showing absolutely no jets or tails, which in itself is another anomaly. But let's stay focused on anomaly number 12. Earlier I mentioned Loeb has 3 theories, but the truth is there are 4. I just don't personally agree with the 4th. Let me walk through them and why each one has issues. The first theory suggests the rotation speed drastically slowed down since July, meaning the object barely spins now, preventing the jets from being smeared by rotation. But this explanation has a serious flaw. When a comet releases gas unevenly, the uneven force usually makes the object spin faster, not slower. Plus, we have images from November 11th showing 3I Atlas intact and acting normally. There's no sign of any event that would dramatically alter its rotation rate. The second idea involves surface geography. Maybe there are deep canyons surrounded by tall ridges with ice hidden at the bottom. As 3I Atlas rotates, these ridges block sunlight almost all the time, but once each rotation, the sunlight angle lines up perfectly and hits the ice briefly. The ice heats up, jets fire, then the sunlight gets blocked again. This could create jets that pulse every 16 hours rather than spray continuously. But again, this doesn't match the observations. If the jets only turned on every 16 hours and the gas has a month-long travel time, the jets would appear as separate clumps along the path, like beads on a necklace. Instead, the images show smooth, uninterrupted streams with no gaps. The third possibility is that 3I Atlas actually broke apart, and what we're seeing is debris. But we already confirmed the object didn't fragment, so unless the images have major hidden errors, that theory fails too. And remember, this isn't the first unexplainable behavior from 3I Atlas, or the second, or the 5th. This is number 12. The object contains far more nickel than any known comet. It's only about 4% water, while comets are supposed to be mostly ice. Its light polarization is completely unlike anything previously recorded. It came from nearly the exact direction as the famous WOW signal from 1977. It brightened faster than any comet in documented history. Its reflectivity doesn't resemble any natural object we've ever studied. Every time researchers propose a normal explanation, the next piece of data breaks it. First, it behaved like a comet until the water content was found to be almost non-existent. Then maybe it was a rocky object, but the polarization shattered that idea. Then maybe it was an asteroid, but asteroids don't produce jets stretching millions of kilometers. Every answer creates more questions. And now we have the rotation problem. These jets behave in ways that shouldn't be possible according to standard physics. We're currently using spectrographs to analyze exactly what's inside these jets and measure how fast the material is moving. This is crucial because it will determine whether the jets contain regular comet gases, like water vapor and CO2, moving at around 1,400 kilometers per hour, or if they show something solar heating could never create. If the results show normal comet activity, then scientists will need to discover a brand new physical mechanism to explain why the jets stay perfectly aligned through dozens of rotations. But if the readings show something solar heating could never create, then the natural explanations begin collapsing. And that leads to Loeb's final theory. What if these jets aren't melting ice at all? What if they're actually engineered propulsion systems? Think about how spacecraft thrusters work. They fire in precise directions to guide movement. Even if a spacecraft is rotating, its thruster system maintains an external orientation, firing at specific moments so the thrust always points in the correct direction relative to space, not relative to the rotating spacecraft. If 3i Atlas has some kind of propulsion system, it would perfectly explain why its jets maintain a fixed direction despite 45 complete rotations. Thrusters could fire in precise bursts to maintain the overall direction of movement. This is exactly how navigation systems operate. In the coming weeks, we'll receive the spectroscopy results that reveal what's actually inside those jets. We'll also get speed measurements and mass launch estimates. If the data shows normal comet activity, then scientists will need to discover a brand new physical mechanism to explain why the jets stay perfectly aligned through dozens of rotations. But if the readings show something solar heating could never create, then we may be witnessing the first known object that doesn't fit within our understanding of natural cosmic behavior. And as this mystery deepens, more researchers are quietly paying attention, because every fresh observation pushes 3i Atlas further outside the boundaries of what we call normal. Whether it's an ancient remnant, an exotic interstellar fragment, or something far more advanced, the truth behind these impossible jets is approaching fast. Whatever emerges from the new data, it's going to reshape how we think about objects entering our solar system and what might be traveling through the deep void beyond. Whatever the answer is, what we're seeing right now should not be possible, and the explanation will have enormous consequences. If you stayed until the end, let me know which explanation you think fits best or share your own idea if you have one. Drop a like, and I hope you have a blessed day.